We're at NOAA's Pacific Marine Environmental Laboratory just outside of Seattle, and I'm with two high school students, Jacob and Eli, and both of you have been doing a program on ocean acidification. Give me a little bit of a sense of what that's all about.
Basically, what's cool about the project that we're working on is that it's it's a grant that was given to a school, and so it lets us as students work on something that's normally just accessible to these big companies with big amounts of funding.
So what have you been doing then?
So we've been learning about how ocean acidification is important, and we've been putting these special probes in the water. And those probes can tell us conductivity, they can tell us density of the water, they can tell us salinity, and they can also tell us pH, and that's really what's important.
Does this change your perspective about science, being able to come out into the field to do this?
Yeah, it's definitely different than learning about stuff in a classroom, because even with our oceanography class, which was definitely focused on this area, we only briefly touched on ocean acidification.
I think if anyone asks, what does someone who studies ocean acidification actually do, you wouldn't have an idea until you actually come out into the field and see it for yourself.
Now, you were working on a slightly different project than the testing project, testing the water pH that you were working on. Tell me about that.
So essentially, what we were looking into was there's been a dramatically falling amount of salmon in the Puget Sound area, which doesn't mimic levels in the rest of Washington or in other similar sea areas. Scientific communities around this area, up in Canada, everywhere, are trying to figure out why this is happening. And so a lot of tests have been taken on the zooplankton in the area, which will ultimately be related to how acidic the water is. And so what I do is I'm in a lab at the UW where essentially I'm analyzing data from these samples, or actually looking at the samples myself to write down the data. And hopefully with all that data together, we can figure out why the number of salmon is so rapidly.
You're actually contributing to the data as well around the salmon, but also an ocean acidification issue. So you're both really hands-on science. Has this changed the way you look at science and changed your consideration about science as a potential career in the future?
Yeah, probably.
I would say so.
Yeah.